On this episode of the Leader Wrestle Zone, we're going to talk about New Japan's new beginnings at Sapporo, which was really awesome to watch. We're going to talk about MLW, NWA, and the Wednesday Night War, and we got plenty other to discuss. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a cold one. Welcome to the Leader Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up. 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 Get up, get up.
All right, Nico, welcome back. So let's start with MLW. So what do you think of this episode that took place?
It's pretty entertaining. My favorite part, like I was saying before, was now I love Contra, but I also love seeing Simon Gotch get his ass kicked. Just something about him I just can't stand. So seeing Davey Boy Smith like put him through all those different stretchers, oh man, it was great.
You know, I'm always surprised like how certain things are really going with them, you know?
Yes.
Like, of course, we have that the Contra in it who is like one of the stable factions that is the perfect heel group. You know, that fits perfectly. We just saw new members that have been introduced call themselves Death Watch. Yeah, I like to call them the Contra soldiers. I don't know why, but, you know, they're like the hired guns. But they never actually showed them, but they kept mentioning them. I think they're trying to save this more like a surprise for us fans, you know? Like,
Surprise.
like saying, okay, we got the Death Watch, beware. And then we may never know when they're going to show up.
Or they're probably just stalling until they got actual real good signees to be a part of the faction.
Yeah, true. So the first match they started out, it was a no holds barred match where you got to see your least favorite person, God, get his ass whooped by Davey Boy Smith. I mean, what'd you think of this match?
It was brilliant. A lot of technical wrestling. My big thing was like they took the ropes down, but they got the posts still up there.
Yeah, it's kind of similar what they did with GCW's Bloodsport.
Yeah.
You know, where the entire event it's all no ropes. It's all either submission or knockout.
Yeah.
You know, that's always been like that, which I don't mind, you know. But I think they were doing it like because we know Simon Gotch's background.
Yeah.
You know, he's been training like in MMA stuff. So was Davey Boy Smith Jr. You know, so it fits perfectly. Like if there's any wrestlers that have background in MMA, it probably would work better with them.
And
you know?
being a former member of Suzuki Gun.
Oh, true. There's that. Okay.
So Gotch had no chance.
Yeah. So as you know now, Tom Lawler's bringing back Team Filthy.
That is great.
And you probably know who was involved with that originally, right? Your least favorite person, Gotch.
Yeah.
And now he has that one karate dude, Dominic Garini.
He's a jiu-jitsu guy. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, so Dominic Garini is now part of Team Filthy. And it kind of makes me wonder who else he's going to sign to have in his team. That's something I'm looking forward to. And then we have the MLW Middleweight Championship. Myron Reed defending it against Drago. What do you think of that match?
Shenanigans. Typical shenanigans again. Myron Reed, they're really good at pushing that hateable heel where he's just an annoying ass little you want to flick him by the nose.
I'm still waiting for the moment when Injustice get their asses handed to them by Contra.
Oh yeah.
That's like the one moment I want to see. You see, you look at Injustice, they act like they think they're tough. Like they think their word is more that they're speaking the truth. But like your truth doesn't matter anymore. Contra is like it's no longer about truth. It's all about chaos. Do they know about chaos? Hell no. I'm still waiting on that moment. So we gotta stand by when that happens.
These fools call themselves dealers of violence.
So yeah, Also, but you said you missed the last match, right? Which was
I was in the middle of it, and then I made my way over here.
yeah. Oh, okay. So it was Marshall Von Erich versus the Salt of the Earth, MJF. I mean, it's still unclear if you guys have been aware or not. MJF is officially no longer part of MLW, but there were some events that he was able to tape before they actually put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, it's still no word yet when will be his final match, because we now know he's taking full-time position with AEW. I mean, I don't know for sure if this was his last match or the upcoming one. It's still unclear.
Okay.
But we'll stand by it.
There's
But
still no official word on his final bookings with MLW and or other places outside of AEW.
yeah, so because like we said, MJF has always played the good heel throughout his career, and I say like he's natural at it. I mean, he could make everyone hate him as much as possible, and that's probably a good thing. But I did state it that maybe that makes the reason why they wanted Gino Medina to join, to be his replacement. So, but throughout this match, it was more like we didn't see Ross. In case you guys are wondering, where was Ross Von Erich? He was in Israel. He got booked over there. So basically, the brothers were separated. So, but that I was like thinking in the back of my mind in the match. Okay, I see Tom Lawler doing commentary. He's probably gonna cost him the match, but eventually, didn't he hold on his own, taking on Dynasty and Lawler at the same time? And of course, he did the claw. As always, remember that's what happened with MJF with that face thing going on.
No, yeah.
He said that was Marshall Von Erich's fault.
Oh, with his face.
Yeah. That's the story. I think I might have missed it or something. I'm not sure. But it was a funny story that he wants revenge for Marshall Von Erich for messing up his face. But yeah, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. There's still more to come. I know we have Fightland coming up. Just to give you guys a heads up, Killer Cross just had his final bookings with these guys. If you already now aware, he is now with WWE. So he's currently reported to the Performance Center. So we'll get to that at some point. We'll talk about him. Now, I want to talk about certain things that were announced for MLW. The gates are open. And we're talking about Dragon Gate is now in a partnership with MLW. What do you think of this?
I like it. It's going to give me a chance to pay more attention to Dragon Gate. I mean, you've been trying to get me to check it out for a while, and I've just been like, I already have a lot of other promotions on my plate. So now that I'll be able to see it with MLW, I'll be all like, all right, now I can check this stuff out.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I don't know if MLW were talking with Shima. If you guys are aware or not, Shima was one of the top stars in Dragon Gate.
Yes.
I don't know if they were able to talk to him, saying if he still has connections with those guys. So it would make perfect sense because he seems like the logical person to get in touch with Dragon Gate.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited. Like, if you guys haven't seen Dragon Gate, it's a pretty good promotion. Now, I did state it a few times. Dragon Gate, all their wrestlers are all junior heavyweights. Ooh. So basically, there is no upper or lower level with these guys. All junior heavyweights, and all their titles are completely different, but they're unique in its own way. Now, I haven't kept up with Dragon Gate recently, but I'm going to give you guys the full story that just happened late last year and going on this year.
Right.
As you all know, the founder, or should I say the father of Dragon Gate, came back, Ultimo Dragon. Apparently, now the factions are broken up into three, with the exception of RED. RED are the only villainous faction that are still being the same, but some of the other factions, Maximum, Natural Vibes, Dojo Michinoku, who else? Tribal Vanguard, they all separated. Some are in a faction where they're citing they got to get rid of RD for attacking Ultimo Dragon and Kazuma Sakamoto.
Right.
So the story with that is Sakamoto was trained by Ultimo Dragon, but he used to be a member of RAD until he defected because the leader of RAD ordered him to eliminate him, but Sakamoto refused because he was his mentor. Eita has a problem with Ultimo Dragon. So those who were trained with in Dragon Gate by Ultimo Dragon decided they need to take the fight to RAD. Now those who were are not by their side, they felt like it's not their fight, but they're willing to fight for themselves, knowing they're not going to tolerate RAD's shenanigans. Because recently, last year, they gained 3 new members from 3 different factions. Now, there's this one guy, I don't know his name. He was a part of Dojo Michinoku. He had enough with the leader. He's tired with his nonsense and all that. And then the second person that joined was this guy named Keita, who was a member of Maximum. Now, he was against the idea of getting for Maximum getting revenge against RD for attacking Sakamoto and Ultimo Dragon. And he felt that he was being forced into this. So he joined. And then the final nail in the coffin was BB Hulk, who was a member of Tribal Vanguard. His beef was that he was fighting for the leadership against him and his tag team partner, Yamato. So basically, all factions are broken up with the exception of RAD. They are now divided in 3. There's RAD, and then there's ones wearing these gold Dragon Gate shirts, and then the blue ones, which are the ones that are fighting in honor of Ultimo Dragon, like keeping his vision alive. So I haven't kept up to them, but I have been following throughout social media and news outlets. Yeah. So it's a really good promotion. If you guys haven't watched it, they do have their own network, and you can subscribe to it. I don't know how much is that in American dollars, because all their currency is yen.
Dragon's Gate, that's where Shingo came from, right?
Shingo, yes. Shingo's also from there. So was Akira Tosama. He's part of WWE now. So yeah, so if you guys haven't checked out that, check it out. Now, the final thing on this segment with MLW. If you guys are living in the San Diego area, it's been announced on Twitter that MLW will do a co-host show with AAA down in Tijuana, Mexico. And it's going to take place on March 13th. So this is like the second time I've been hearing that MLW will be going to Tijuana.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're probably asking where they're going to have their show, it's going to be the Auditorium of Tijuana. It's a real nice place. You know, it's very like a sporting venue if you guys want to do that. So can you get tickets? Yeah, you can still get tickets or buy the tickets on the day. It doesn't matter. Don't ask me how much that costs in pesos. You got to look it up on their website or drive down there or something, you know. So I think that's what we got for MLW. So we'll be keeping track more, and hopefully we'll find out when Dragon Gate will be with MLW. I know they're working on their visas because, you know, that's important, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll stand by more on that, and we'll keep an update, and we'll see what happens at the next Fusion episode. So we'll continue on with the show.
Fusion.
Right, Nico.
Yes.
We're in your favorite promotion subject. We're talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling with New Beginnings in Sapporo. What did you think of this event?
So far, so good. A lot of them. I'm starting to like Gino Gambino on the commentary. He's hilarious. What else? The intro, the very first few matches were. I forgot what's the.
We have for night. Let's start with night 1 first.
Yeah.
The first match they had was Bullet Club members El Fantasma and Taiji Shimori teaming up against Yuya Imura, who's one of the Lions.
Yeah.
Teaming with Tiger Mask.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, as always, Bullet Club wins this match. But Yuya still has a grudge with those guys.
Yeah.
We'll see down the line in the future where they're going to go with him. Then we had Hanare teaming with Great Heel Bash, facing off against another young lion, Suji, Tenza, and Nakanishi. What did you think of that match?
Kind of not really feeling the whole like Naganishi send off matches. Kind of like I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased because like I wasn't really there in the beginning. But like after like everyone else's after Liger's retirement, it's kind of like Naganishi's like kind of like meh. Like
I think it's because Liger was more popular throughout the years. You know, if you haven't known him that long, then you missed out. But Nakanishi, I felt the same way. I don't know this guy, but he seems like pretty decent. Like he knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. So if you guys want to know who won this one, it was Hanara and Hamna and Makabe, as always. Then we had I think this was a 8-man tag team match. Chaos members, which is 3 out of the 4.
Yeah.
Taguchi teaming with Roppongi 3K, Will Ospreay against Suzuki Goons, El Desperado, Kanemaru, Doiki, and Zack Sabre Jr. What you thought of this match?
Super underrated wrestler in Suzuki Gun, Kanemaru Michinobu. He's like a utility guy. He's you could throw him in there pretty much with anyone in Suzuki Gun, and you're gonna get really great results.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing what's it called, Ryusuke with
Taguchi.
with Ryusuke Taguchi with Ospreay and Roppongi 3K. It's a lot of fun with the old coach.
Well, he's like the veteran coach.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but he stepped up to helping Sho and Yo on this one. You know, because if you guys don't know, Sho and Yo's coach is Rocky Romero, but currently he's on tour doing he was doing the New Japan shows here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
But he stepped up perfectly. I mean, of course, I had a feeling going to do that, the baseball thing.
Oh, of course.
I mean, that's my favorite thing to watch with Taguchi. You know, he's like, every time he's telling everybody, keep running, try to get... I think my favorite moment is the one with the G1 Supercard. But they won that match. I was like, yes, they always win. Then the next match was a tag team match. Now, this one, I was completely sold on this one. Ruli teaming with the Sniper of the Skies, Robbie Eagles, facing off against LIJ, Bushi, and Takahashi. What do you think of this one?
Bushi and Takahashi?
Versus Ruli and Robbie Eagles.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a good one.
I was like sold on this one. I was watching Ruli and Robbie Eagles. I'm like thinking, man, those guys work together as a tag team. I mean, I would love to see if Will Ospreay can't work with Robbie Eagles, then down the line, he can work with Ruli.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're very interchangeable.
Yeah, I have to say, now Robbie Eagles is getting his confidence throughout New Japan. But teaming with Ruli, I feel like this is a good tag team, you know? I'm like wondering what they're going to call themselves now if they do team up. So, but they won this match. I was like, this is a good tag team match that I enjoyed a lot. Then we have the, hold on. We got Bullet Club versus LIJ. So we had Jay White teaming with Kenta alongside with Fredo against LIJ, Sonata, and Naito. What do you thought of this match?
Man, this LIJ versus Bullet Club feud is really, really, really good. I didn't think that I would want it as much as I'm enjoying it now. Every little bit that when Jay's getting in either Sonata or Naito's head, it's hilarious because they're so cool, calm, and collective that it doesn't work. And then they actually get into each other's heads. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Sonata put Jay White in the Paradise Lock one day.
Yeah, I love watching Sonata do the Paradise Lock. So yeah, I think it was Bullet Club that took the victory on this one. As always. Now the next match,
they pinned Bushi, I believe.
Yeah. And the next match was very interesting. We had Suzuki Gun, Tai Chi teaming with his boss Minoru Suzuki, facing off against Okada and Jon Moxley. First time those two team up. What do you thought of this one?
This was better than the Mega Powers. Sonata and Moxley teaming together. It was much necessary considering, well, I'm not too sure. If the eye injury was kayfabe, then everything I'm about to say goes right out the door. But it was a good idea having Moxley with Okada in a tag team while having an eye injury, because he's like the perfect person to to have there in your corner if like you can't see half of the ring. Yeah. So like that was like a really, really good pairing. Was this the night that Tai Chi went complete crazy on Okada at the end of the match?
Yeah, after the match when they beat Okada and Moxley, Zack Sabre Jr. showed up and attacked Okada, and Ospreay tried to help, but Tai Chi still had that, like he wanted to obliterate Okada to ensure he doesn't show up the next night, because they were booked to face off each other in the singles competition.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we had the next match, which was the Power of the Brutes, I like to call it. Tomohiro Ishii versus Evil. What do you thought of this one?
I fell asleep.
Dude.
I saw all the matches that I needed to see, and then as soon as Tomohiro Ishii and Evil came out, I stopped caring and fell asleep.
It was a good match. Like, they were throwing every powerhouse moves.
And that's why I feel very, that's so unfair of me with Tomohiro Ishii. He's a really good wrestler. He does a lot of the... One thing that you should pay attention to with Tomohiro Ishii is him versus Katsuyori Shibata at Wrestle Kingdom 10 or 11 or something like that. They throw everything at each other, and it's epic as hell. Problem is, like, once you've seen everyone else's matches already, and then you get to Tomohiro Ishii, for me, it's hard to, like, still care. But that doesn't mean he's not a good wrestler. He's a great wrestler.
Yeah, so Ishii took the victory on this one.
Yeah.
Now, the next one was a championship match, was for the Never Openweight Championship, it was held at the time, Hiroki Goto versus Shingo Takagi. What are your thoughts on this one?
I like where this is going with Shingo. Him winning was very much needed. It's making LIJ look stronger than ever. They got all the belts except for the tag belts, both junior and heavyweight. I like this. When you get to night 2, I'll be able to talk more about it. But,
we got to keep it. He calls himself the Never Open Double Champ.
Yeah.
He's not only the Never Openweight Champion, he's also the Never Openweight 6-man tag team champion, alongside Bushi and Sanada? Or is it Evil?
Evil.
And Evil. So he has that championship too. So basically he has 2 of the Never Openweight Championships under his belt now. Yeah. So that is night 1. Now let's go with night 2. What do you thought of this one?
Night 2... night 2 is the beginning of a story that they're telling with Hanare. When I first started watching New Japan, Hanare was taking all the losses. Like, I was always able to tell, like, hey, if Hanare's in a match, that means that team's going to lose or he's going to lose. Now, that's a lot different. They're starting to give Hanare a little push. He's beating people here and there, and right now he has his eyes set on Shingo Takagi and the Never Open title.
Yeah, so... Yeah, he had his first match of night 2 was against Yota Tsuji. That was a good one, because they're giving a little showing of their young lions every single time. So, but Tana Hanare took the victory on this one.
Yep.
The next match is another 6-man tag team match. It was Tiger Mask teaming up with Tenzan and Nakanishi against Uminara, Hamna, and Makabe. What do you thought of this one? Not so much.
It's a good. It's another good match to display the young lions, get their get some momentum there.
Yeah, and also right at the end of the match when Nakanishi and Tenzan and Tiger Mask took the victory, Nakanishi gave his little speech as always.
Yeah,
because we all know he's going to be retiring real soon. We still don't know much about what are his final matches coming up, but it is coming.
Yeah.
Then we had El Fantasma facing a young lion, but this guy's already been well known through the UK.
Oh, yeah,
Gabriel Kidd. I mean, what do you thought of this one?
This is a pretty decent match. Gabriel Kidd, don't really know that much about him, but he seems like someone that
Well,
I
they
would pay
did mention
attention
that they knew each other back then.
to. Yeah.
You know, because he already has experience, but he has to play by the New Japan rules.
Mhm.
You know, because if you guys don't know this, the young lions, they're strictly giving them lesser moves to use.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that we have seen they use is the Boston Crab.
Or a single leg.
Yeah, that, and so basically they're only giving them limitations.
Mhm.
But that's like for them, they're not doing this just to hold them back. They're doing this to, how to say, give them the experience they need.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's how it works with the young lions. But yeah, so it was a good match, and Phantasmo took the victory on this one. Now this one, I think this is a good one that I like. Chaos members Goto, Ishii, and Eagles versus LIJ's Bushi, Evil, and Tagaki.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of this one?
It was mostly like a display of the going back and forth with Evil and Tomohiro Ishii and Shingo and Goto. Bushi and Eagle, they were just there to be there.
Yeah,
But
but I think this one was also more of the introduction that give Eagles a little bit of push.
yeah,
You know, because if you guys don't follow Eagles starting from last year,
Mhm.
he was a member of the Bullet Club, and he had enough of
yeah.
El Fantasma getting in his business, and he decided to defect.
Mhm.
And now he's being the wrestler he said he wanted to be outside of Bullet Club, being a member of Chaos.
Right.
Not only that, he teamed up with Will Ospreay, forming the Birds of Prey, you know, and all of this and that. So this was more like Eagles now showing that he isn't confident, and not to mention Gino Gambino can't stand him
Yeah.
because he cursed him or something. But yeah, but it was a good match, and of course he was all happy that he won, that
Oh, yeah.
he made the pin on this one. Next match we had Sho and Yo and Taguchi teaming with Moxley
Mhm.
versus Suzuki-gun members Minoru Suzuki, Desperado, Kanemaru, and Doiki. What are your thoughts on this one?
Dude, once again, you could put Moxley with anyone against anyone, and he's going to have excellent chemistry with them. One of the better matches of the night, I would say. Yeah.
And not to mention, Taguchi was trying to get him to get in on the fun,
Oh yeah.
but he was preoccupied with Suzuki.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was like even after the match when Sho and Yo and Taguchi and Moxley won, the fight was still going on between Moxley and Suzuki.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like still a best storytelling. Like their fight will never end, no matter what. You know, I think for many fans, ever since we've been watching Moxley going to New Japan, I think there were those like, what would it be like to see him facing off with Suzuki? And now that answer has been questioned. And I think we're getting more of what the fans have asked for.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. And then they announced the Keto tour, which is going to take place in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pronounce their names, but it's going to go from the 11th of July to the 19th.
Right.
Now, the next match, we had LIJ, Takahashi, Sonata, and Naito facing against Bullet Club members Ishimori, Kenta, and Jay White, alongside Fredo.
This is the elimination one.
I don't think so. It's just a regular match. But yeah, it was... Thing is, like, there's still no love lost between Takahashi and Ishimori. If you guys hadn't forgotten, it was Takahashi that beat Ishimori in the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors. I think it was, the year before he broke his neck.
Yeah.
So basically, there's still a bit of history with those guys. And of course, we know the history with Kenta and Sonata and Jay White versus Naito. So it's still the same old thing that's been going on. But I think I remember somewhere down the line after the end of the match when LIJ won that we're still yet to see all 6 members in the ring.
Right.
LIJ. I think we're still waiting on that to happen. Because it would be great to see all 6 of them in the same ring.
Mm-hmm.
Next match, this one was for the British Heavyweight Championship. We got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Will Ospreay. What do you thought of this one?
This is the most underrated sets of matches with Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr. Two technical wrestlers on the entirely different spectrum of technical catch wrestling. You got Zack Sabre Jr., who's mostly mat and ground submissions, and you got Will Ospreay that's all aerial, but not just all aerial, but he could do a lot of technical standing maneuvers as well. And like this is like. And then the whole story with Will Ospreay never getting the Rev Pro Heavyweight Championship is like makes you want more. They're gonna have the replay of it when at the Rev Pro. Oh wait, I'm skipping ahead. This is their first championship match. But yeah, really good.
Well, they are gonna have another match, but this time in Rev Pro.
Yeah. But I'm skipping ahead from like there's levels to this.
I mean, it was a good match because you can see like you said, there were two different wrestlers.
Yeah.
One a submission, one's a aerial.
Yeah. I
mean, some people say who could win between them, but that's like a tough question to ask. But I think this is like one of the best matches of night too.
Oh yeah.
But. Of course, Zack Sabre Jr. But this is far from over between those two.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the main event was Okada versus Tai Chi.
Mm-hmm.
What do you thought of this one?
It was cool. This is I didn't understand why they got the main event spot when neither of them were champions.
I think here's the way I see it. This one, to me, had a good storytelling.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, let's go back in time.
Yes.
When Okada was a young lion, one of his earlier matches was against Tai Chi.
Yeah.
And he lost that match. Ever since then, Okada went on excursion.
Yes.
All over the world while Tai Chi was still in Japan. And ever since then, Tai Chi is still the same. But when Okada returned, instead of being in line, he skipped over and faced off against Tanahashi for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Now, for Tai Chi, he looks at it like it's a load of BS.
Yeah.
Like, why did you got skipped over? I'm right here going exactly in the back of the line, moving forward.
Right.
That's what Tai Chi was trying to say. And now he feels that now that Okada's no longer champion, he wants to take his spot. Be that top guy that Okada is no longer a part of. And that's always been like the best storytelling.
Oh yeah.
Like you look at Tai Chi, he's like the guy he wants to be that top guy. He's sick and tired of playing by the same rules, and he looks at Okada's like, it's my turn. I mean, look what he did with Naito. Naito was still trying to be the first ever double champion.
Yes.
And Tai Chi felt like, it's my destiny to be double champion, no longer yours. You couldn't get the job done. It's like Tai Chi's like saying, I should be at the top.
Right.
And that's what I like about this match. It had a good story to tell. I mean, I loved it. Every moment between these two guys, if Okada was making a pin and Tai Chi kicks out, I was like, oh man. Same thing with Tai Chi. It's when Okada kicks out. You don't never know what's going to happen. But it's like Tai Chi was like feeling it. It's my destiny. But sadly, it did not become his destiny that night.
No.
But I think this match kind of gave him a little bit of the recognition that he's well deserved. Don't you agree?
Yes.
So I have to. If you guys want to see this Tai Chi, pay attention to him more. Like his storytelling, the way he portrays this guy's like he feels like I should be the top. Pay attention to him more. So, what do you think? Anything you want to add for this match?
Like what was the question?
With Okada and Tai Chi, like the storytelling, the way they portrayed it.
Oh yeah, like not just that, they're also playing into the whole fact that Tai Chi has been hella over with the fans since this last year. They're the shouts of Tai Chi go home in Japanese are getting fewer and fewer.
Yeah, but we still got more of the New Beginning tour. This time we're expecting Osaka, right?
I believe so.
So that one's coming up soon. So if you guys have the New Japan on demand, subscribe now. If you haven't, subscribe it. Do it now. This is going to be an interesting night in Osaka. I'm definitely going to watch it. I know you do. But also they'll be doing the road to the New Beginnings Osaka. So pay attention to that too. So that is it for New Japan. There's nothing new coming up with them, right? No.
The road to New Japan in the last few nights.
Oh yeah. So there's those matches, but pay attention. We'll get to back on that next week.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back with more with DWZ. Stop it. All right, Nico. I know you missed the Wednesday Night War. There's no shame in it.
Yeah.
I'll just speed you up. Now, you're probably wondering, all of you guys watching this, who won the war? Well, this one was a bit of a surprise for me when the results came in.
Mm-hmm.
AEW won by 928,000 views with the ratings of 0.36. NXT 770,000 views with the ratings of 0.22. It's a bit more different from the previous week. So I'm like, this is saying from Square Circle Cycle Babble, the wrestling fans won, as always. I mean, look, there were some good shows on that one.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen it in the past. But let's start out with AEW. The first match of the night was Moxley versus Ortiz. So, reason this match happened, a week ago, when Moxley was in the face of the Inner Circle, he had Ortiz right in his face, and he paradigm shifted him down on the ground.
Yeah.
So basically, Ortiz was getting his revenge. Now, according to Jericho, who was on commentary with Guevara and Hagar, this was his first singles competition match in, I think, 15, 16 years? Somewhere around there. But there was some good moments in this match. Not if you've seen Ortiz, he does the on the people back. It had no effect on Moxley. Come on, Ortiz, wake up! You think that's gonna work on him? But it didn't. Now, this is what happened. Moxley wins the match, and here comes Santana. Tries to take him out, but it didn't go his way. Moxley does this. He pulls out the car keys from the Ferrari that he took from Jericho when he tricked him in joining Inner Circle. Shows him the key, takes off the thing, but he has the little...
I think it's a Ferrari.
Yeah. So he takes out this spike thingy, and he tells Jericho, eye for an eye. And you see Jericho, no, he's not going to do it. He's like, go get him. And he comes out, and he just gets Santana right in the eye. It was like, oh my God. It was like an eye for an eye. He gave Santana exactly what he deserved. Like, and Kevin Kelly's like, didn't he think he was going to do this? He was no longer playing any games anymore. But yeah. So basically, the feud between Jericho and Moxley is getting very intensified for their upcoming Revolution match for the championship.
I think the car's a Ford.
What?
I think the car's a Ford, not a Ferrari.
We'll look it up again, because it's been a while since I've seen it. Then we had a tag team match with SCU, Kazarian, and Sky versus the Best Friends, alongside freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. I mean, this was also a good match to watch. But I'm going to skip ahead a little something that happened with Orange Cassidy. All four of them are outside the ring lying down like dead ducks. What do you think Orange Cassidy does?
What else?
He gets on the ground, pretend he's in sunny California. He's like lying there just, enjoying the view while everybody's on the ground. I mean, I didn't think he was going to do something. I didn't know what he was going to do. We've seen him, what he can do. Like, whenever he's in the face of somebody, he does the little, put his hands in his pocket and does those little kicks. So, but yeah, it was really funny. But the match was won by SCU, but something happened at the end. Guess who showed up? The Dark Order.
Yeah.
Still, they attacked SCU and the Best Friends, but right before anything goes wrong, Orange Cassidy gets in the face of Evil Uno. He tried to do that same old routine, but it didn't work. Then here comes Christopher Daniels, tries to get them to attack him, but they back away. They just turn away, like they don't want to touch him, like they don't want to hurt him. Because they were still interested in having him part of the Dark Order, but the still remaining question is, who the hell is the Exalted One? I don't know who it is. Do you?
Yeah, I know who it is.
We'll cross the bridge when we get there.
It's Tony Schiavone. He's the one that's in charge of Dark Order. Tired of everyone's shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we had like little thing with Arn Anderson talking about Cody's little predicament where he's going to get 10 lashes on live TV. So Arn was like completely against it, but he understands that he will do whatever it takes to get his hands on MJF. Like, there is no talking him out of this whatsoever. Then we had, for the first time ever in the next match, Yuka Sakazaki making her AEW Dynamite debut. Now, we haven't seen her, not since, I think it was Fyter Fest. So she was facing off against Britt Baker. Now, I didn't know what to expect in this match because I've always assumed Britt Baker was going to take the victory.
Right.
It didn't turn out that way. It was Yuka Sakazaki that did. I was like, dang. Now, this is at the post-match after this. Britt Baker attacked Yuka Sakazaki with the bell right from behind, and she somehow made her mouth bleed, and a tooth comes out. You can see it, like the camera gets it, and she was bleeding out, and then she tried to put her in that submission. What do you call it? When the Britt Baker puts the people in submission?
Oh, she sticks her
hand
in her mouth.
Yeah, there's that. But so basically, that's how the whole thing is. I don't know if Rio's gonna watch or Yuka's gonna get a bit of retribution for that. But we'll just wait and see because there's still. It's because I know that Britt is still having that bitterness over Rio not being a champion like she claims she should be. All that. Then we had that 8-man tag team match with the Butcher and the Blade alongside the Bunny teaming up with the Lucha Brothers versus the Elite. Now, this is funny. Now, you've seen the Elite have a new theme song, right?
No, I haven't heard
They're using the theme song from Being the Elite.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hangman Page just walks out first, and he's not like hanging it out with Kenny or the Bucks. Now, this match was great. I was like enjoying every move from what the Bucks and Kenny were doing. Now, throughout the entire match, Hangman was only tagging Kenny. He did not tag the Bucks whatsoever. And it was like so interesting how the story goes. Like, he doesn't want nothing to do with the Bucks, but he wants to do something with Kenny. That's like an interesting storyline is. And then because of that, it costs the Elite their victory. Now, Kenny's stuck in the middle with these guys. You know, Hangman not giving a damn about what the Bucks were saying or what all this and that. And of course, as always, Hangman just grabbed the beer. You know, that's his new thing. And of course, everybody doesn't forget his little cowboy shit that he does.
Yes.
So, yeah. Now, right at the match, Kenny was doing an interview with Tony Schiavone because regarding to Pac as a demand to give him that match that he's demanding for weeks. All of a sudden, Pac was going to threaten to hurt Rio if Kenny didn't give him what he wanted. He tried with Nakazawa, but it didn't work, so he thought hurting Rio would get his attention. And of course, Kenny accepted his match, his challenge. But this is the crazy part.
Mm-hmm.
Pac told him, I may be a bastard, but I would never hurt a woman. But this one does. She's a beast. And Nyla Rose attacked her and powerbombed her through a table. So it was like kind of like crazy. Like, yes, Pac is a bastard, but he was a lot smarter than we all looked.
Mm-hmm.
But it was great. Then we had this interesting message from Darby Allin. If you guys recall what happened a week ago, Darby Allin was taken out by the Inner Circle, especially from the Spanish god Sammy Guevara, using the skateboard on his throat. He grabbed that little cutout poster of Jericho and Guevara hugging. You've seen that one, right? Mm-hmm. He burns it with a flamethrower. And I'm like thinking, this is going to be an upcoming match for Revolution. Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin. Now, this is what happened. On Twitter, I saw Baby the day after. Sammy saw the video on Twitter, and he goes, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? Fight fire with fire. So basically, he got exactly where Sammy hurts him. You know, his father figure with Jericho and cutout means a lot to him, so that's how he got to his head. That's what we see in wrestling. We got to get into our enemies' heads. And Darby, I have to say, he picked the right one. Then we had a match between, of course, Kip Sabian along with Penelope Ford versus Joey Janela. Now, I've always seen this match a lot in my head. But I'm like, of course, Penelope Ford is going to get involved as always. But I always wonder how Joey Janela is going to overcome this one because Kip Sabian always gets in his head. But apparently, Joey Janela, I don't like to say he screwed himself. He got his eye off the ball.
Right.
Penelope Ford got hurt. Now, Joey Janela did not want nothing to do with her, but she got in the way. But instead of Kip Sabian taking the victory, he takes off with Penelope Ford, knowing that she was hurt. Joey's like, "What's wrong with him? He doesn't care about his win." So I think he got to him really good on this one. Then we had that confrontation with the Bucks and Hangman Page in the back, talking to the new backstage interviewer, Lexi Lord. If you guys don't know who she is, she's Diamond Dallas Page's daughter. And the Bucks took Hangman's beer.
Mm-hmm.
But when they took off, he has a gigantic beer cup. The biggest one. The ones you see when you go to a bar.
It's a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had one. He was like drinking the whole damn thing. I thought it was a funny moment with just that. He just sees, oh, he took my beer, I got this one right here.
That's an actual picture.
Yeah. So it was a good one. Then we go to the 10 lashes of Cody Rhodes. Every lash, it was like hurt. I think this is what got the ratings up for them. Like, you and I have talked about Cody, about he loves to give a good storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
Like he did with Dustin Rhodes in Double or Nothing last year. Every lash, what happened, like certain point he started to, like, can't take it. But at some point, people that matter to him, the head coach of the Nightmare family, Arn Anderson, shows up. He's trying to encourage him, don't give him the satisfactory. This is MJF's reaction. He's like, you can't help him. But who said he was helping him? He was encouraging him. You didn't say anything about that.
Right.
So, the more he was hurting, here comes Dustin Rhodes. He's trying to help him. Like, he's saying, I'll take the slashings. But MJF was sneaky as always. He told him it's not part of the deal. But, of course, he stand by his brothers. Now, here's the interesting part. The people who are against Cody, like the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny, Guevara, Hagar, and Ortiz, and Britt Baker, they're all watching this. Like, they're enjoying Cody get himself humiliated for this one. But they cannot explain why are these people coming out. And here comes the Bucks doing the same thing, giving them the encouragement. But the final encouragement was the one that stood out the most was Brandy. Like, try to tell him, you got one more lash. You can do this. And when he got it done, MJF was not happy. Reason behind that, you're probably going to say this is a good story. MJF is trying to find a way not to get involved with Cody at Revolution. He's trying to find a way to tell him that he's done with the lash. He can't take it. The match is done. It's not going to happen. But it did. He was not a happy camper with this one. And it ended with MJF low-blowing Cody right in the groin, and he takes off. Still not happy the fact that Cody survived this one. I mean, what do you think of that?
You skipped Wardlow doing the final lashing.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Wardlow gave the final lashing.
Yeah.
But what you thought of that story, how it went?
It was pretty cool. But, what about, isn't Brandy supposed to be a heel?
Apparently, from what I'm hearing, they're scrapping the Nightmare Collective. It's already been confirmed throughout reports from Wrestling Observer, Wrestling Incorporated. But if you guys don't know this, I'm going to say this now. It appears Awesome Kong is done with wrestling, but she's not leaving AEW. So I think my speculation with her that she's gonna still stick around as a coach or something, you know. So I mean, but also she's the lead person trying to lead into giving a better healthcare for all their talent. If you all recall her past, she didn't get that.
Right.
But now she has the opportunity to help the wrestlers in AEW to get better healthcare. So it would make sense that she would stop wrestle but continue on to coach newer wrestlers, but also try to be giving all these wrestlers the healthcare that they deserve. But, you know, but we'll see what's going to happen with Mel and Luther, you know. We still don't know yet on the status of that.
Luther.
So yeah, so that's what happened with AEW. So next week we just got to see what's going to happen. Now, let's go with NXT. It started out with the Broserweights celebrating.
Yeah.
Coming out with a golf cart alongside with a trophy. You saw how, I don't know if you saw how Pete Dunne was in. He was like this.
That's great.
I'm like laughing my
their
butt
pairing
up.
is just great. That's another thing. Their pairing was another thing. Was something I never thought that I would need to see. That now I see it and need more.
I have to say, it's like it's kind of like you got the fun type, and then you got the guy who's like the antisocial.
Oh yeah,
it's a good combination. It was like you may see that in movies, but in wrestling we hardly get to see those. But it was great, you know, like how they were coming out, all pimped out with their new trophy, giving their statement saying that next stop for them is take over Portland for the NXT championships. And I'm like, I would love to see them become tag team champions. How about you?
oh most definitely. That'd be like them two together would be like if the Thrill Seekers got back together.
Uh-huh.
Because like Jericho has all the personality and Lance Storm has no personality.
Yeah, so, but here comes Undisputed Era. We're not going to tolerate the Broserweights for that. But Roderick Strong informed them they got bigger fish to fry, which is looking for Ciampa. And of course, Riddle made a joke out of it. Bobby Fish said to himself, "We got bigger fish to fry." I'm like, dude, you just said fish to yourself. And Matt Riddle made a joke out of it, and it was so fun. I enjoyed that. You know, it was great. Then we jump in with the match that I like to call it cruiserweight match: Angel Garza versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. Now, Garza is still not a happy camper that he lost the title, but he kind of blamed it on Swerve on this one. I mean, come on. You were facing three others. How can it be his fault?
Garza lost the title to who?
Jordan Devlin, the Irish,
right.
Irish
That's
Ace.
right. Devlin is the new champion. Right?
Yeah, so the Irish Ace is the new champion. But Garza took the victory on this one, and he goes out in the mic telling how he took out his cousin Humberto Carrillo and Rey Mysterio, but he still wants his title back. And I have a feeling that in this story, the way I see it, Jordan Devlin's going to ignore Garza, you know, but Garza's not going to be ignored for long. I have that distinct feeling there will be a rivalry between those two. I mean, Jordan Devlin, he's like that one guy who felt like he was overlooked, and now he's no longer overlooked. He's the Cruiserweight champion. But we'll get to that bridge when it comes. Then we have a little segment in the back where Undisputed Era are looking for Ciampa. They're harassing people, kicking people, basically trying to find him. Like it was like, how to say, you've seen one of those movies where they're looking for someone.
Yeah.
Like the bad guy's looking for the person that is causing them their problems. But they still couldn't find him. Now the next match was a very good one for me. This one was Dominic Dijakovic versus Killian Dane.
Oh.
Yeah, so as you all know, Dominic Dijakovic, he wants to be the guy who wants to face Keith Lee for the North American Championship.
Right.
I mean, I'm all for it because those guys have thrown some of the best matches throughout NXT. Don't you agree?
Yes.
So it was a great match because Dominic Dijakovic wants to prove that he deserves to be in that title run. You know, even though he and Lee have been allies and enemies before, why not? Let's make this match happen. And he did that after he won the victory against Killian Dane. And Keith Lee comes out telling him those two will make magic at TakeOver Portland. And I'm excited to see it. How about you?
I'm with it.
Yeah. So the next match, we still got the Undisputed Era still looking for Ciampa. They got in the face of Kushida. And of course, Bronson Reed. Still looking for Ciampa. And they still can't find him. But they put Kushida through a box or something. I don't know what it is. Then they kicked Bronson Reed right in the head. They still were trying to find him. Then we had this little exclusive interview where both Gargano and Balor are talking. You know? Because if this is the thing with I like this rivalry where they're going with it. Where we all knew Balor was the reason that NXT was on the map.
Right.
But Gargano is the one that's feeling like he's leading NXT to the next level. You know,
I don't know where he got that idea from. Gargano has no personality.
Well, everybody loves him. That's why. That's why he's Johnny Wrestling or Johnny Takeover. But he's telling him something that was interesting. He wants that Finn Balor that people have been talking about.
Right.
Like that one person that people remembered. So he's asking him to bring out the worst of himself into this. Like, Gargano, he's not afraid of it. He knows what he's doing. But, of course, I look at Balor's eyes, he's like, you better be careful what you wish for. It's like...
He gets stomped on. Like, who are these Johnny Wrestling fans? Like, I'm like... Every time I've seen Johnny Gargano come out and wrestle, I've tried to be all like, all right, I'm gonna give him one more chance to actually get into, and he's just stale. Like everyone that he's ever wrestled has been either been much more charismatic. Like the day that I saw DIY break up and then Tommaso Ciampa went on to do his own thing, I was like, good for Ciampa.
Yeah,
because he's way better than Johnny Wrestling.
Then we had a match with the debuting Mercedes Martinez, who we all know she got signed with WWE not too long ago.
That's right.
Versus, what was it? Casey Cantizano we all know from American Ninja. Yeah. This is her first time Casey comes back after she decided to, let's call it a hiatus. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to say she quit. So from her hiatus, and it was a good solid match, but I kind of wasn't sold too much on this one. You know, I'm still waiting for Mercedes to take the wrestling world by storm in the women's division. I'm still waiting on that. Then we have a continuation with Undisputed Era. Let's just say Ciampa found them.
There you go.
It's always interesting. Like, you're looking for someone, but they found you instead. So they took this fight, both Cole and Ciampa, to the ring. And then here comes the rest of the Undisputed after they got their asses handed to them. But out of nowhere, we see the Broserweights. They come out to settle the score with Fish and O'Reilly because those guys will face them at TakeOver. But apparently, William Regal made this official match later on. The Undisputed Era, Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly versus the Broserweights and Ciampa. So that was later on in the match. Then we had Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Breeze. Now, I think this is the first time Jordan Devlin comes to the NXT.
Yeah.
You know, because he's mostly from the NXT UK. Since winning the title, he now goes to NXT. He said he would defend the title. Doesn't matter if it's with NXT or NXT UK. But it was a good match. There were some good moments I saw in this one. I think this is one of those matches that kind of made the Cruiserweight division better than it should be. You know, because I've seen a lot of good high flying from both sides. You know, but Jordan Devlin took the victory on this one. I'm still waiting on that rivalry between him and Garza to take place, as always. Then we got Charlotte Flair showing up. And then Bianca Belair, who we all know is going to face Rhea Ripley at TakeOver Portland.
Right.
Now, Charlotte Flair, we all know she won the the Women's Royal Rumble. She could face anyone. But Rhea Ripley made a good point. She never beat her. So basically, we all know Charlotte Flair, she's up for any challenge. But we still got to wait and see if that's going to happen, because we still got to pay attention with Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair and TakeOver when it comes in. Now let's go with the main event. We got Undisputed Era versus Ciampa and the Broserweights. This match ended in no contest. I'm like, this is no longer about for Undisputed Era winning. It's about taking out their enemies before they take them out. Cole will not tolerate Ciampa try to take away his title. Now, in the midst of trying to take out Ciampa, the lights turned off. And out of the blue, we see the return of Velveteen Dream.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So basically, he's back. He took out almost all of the Undisputed Era by himself, but he still has an axe to grind with Roderick Strong.
Oh yeah, easily.
If you guys have forgotten, they had a rivalry when Velveteen Dream lost the title, his North American title, to Roderick Strong. And he was trying to get it back. And of course, Velveteen Dream humiliated Roderick Strong publicly. If you haven't seen the video, he had a picture where he was naked and the title was right where his junk is, and he takes it off. It was a real funny moment, but they took him out. He hasn't been seen, for a couple months? Somewhere around there. But now he's back. I think this moment is one of the best moments for Velveteen Dream to come back. And I have that feeling that there will be like Ciampa, the Broserweights, and Velveteen Dream teaming up against the Undisputed Era, because it's a good combination of who are the rivals they're going to take on.
Again?
No, the rivalry continue between all four of them. You know, you got Ciampa versus Cole. The Broserweights was Fish and O'Reilly. Then we had Dream with Roderick Strong.
Oh, okay.
So I have a feeling probably next week we'll see that. I'm not sure yet, but we'll get to there. So that's it, what we got for the Wednesday Night Wars. So we'll continue more with them. Hopefully there'll be some new announcements coming up with upcoming shows with these guys and upcoming matches. So we'll be right back. Nico, you and I have heard this about a week ago, all the way to this week, about the WWE losing a lot of money in the stock market. And they announced that two of the co-presidents, I don't know which is true, they're saying they were fired, they were forced to resign, or they left on their own. But people speculate certain things about this. Like, some people are saying, oh, now that they lost a lot of money, WWE's done. The answer is, they're not. Yes, they lost a lot of money, but they always will find a way to bounce back. All they got to do is find a strategy or results that make up for the money they lost. What do you think of that?
You know, with WWE losing about $1 billion with stock, one thing that always comes back to my mind is that anyone that has been wealthy, they've experienced great loss. That's the difference between being rich and being wealthy. With rich, you could be broke at any given minute. With being wealthy, you could lose a lot of money, but that's okay because you could just reacquire it. This is one of those things where WWE might want to pay attention to, because not only with the stock, but they're down to 1 million subscribers on the network, and that's kind of interesting. I feel like that's more interesting than with the whole stock thing, because a million subscribers, there's more people in San Diego than that.
You know, the thing is this, what happened is people just don't understand. we've seen fans who invested in WWE.
Yeah.
You know, like not only just to the network and other things, but over the years we have seen fans, they just lost interest in it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's one of the key things that they should have paid attention. Like, they should have questioned themselves, what is it they're doing wrong here? Like, what is it that they're making their fans lose interest? You know? And that's a whole lot. Like, not only that, but you may have heard this, that a lot of their house shows are becoming empty.
Ooh.
And recently it's been announced that they're making cuts on that. Like, they're no longer going to put like a whole load of workloads of the house shows. They're going to cut them maybe in half. You know, because the thing is, I think they're might have thought they were losing money out of it.
Right.
Or something like that. But at the same time, when this happened, wrestlers are feeling a little bit mad that they decided, you know, they're going to take some of their house shows down, you know? Like, not putting them exactly, like, on schedule. But it's like, this became a predicament from both sides. Not only to the corporate members of WWE, but also the talent.
Yeah.
So it became a predicament. I'm like, I'm not going to say that, oh, we should feel sad for these wrestlers. Like, no, like, they can tell they're having financial problems. They know it. But the problem is, they should have looked what they could have found a way to resolve it before it was too late. And they haven't. I mean, you did subscribe a long time ago with the network before.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, you lost interest, you know?
Yeah.
That's one of those key things that many people don't understand. Like, I never subscribed to it. Ever.
Lucky.
Well, it's because I wasn't sold too much onto it.
When I was subscribed, I mostly was watching all the ECW and WCW stuff and all the Attitude Era stuff. And then I eventually started watching like all the CM Punk stuff. Other than that, I really don't like watch too much of WWE.
Me, I only pay attention to certain things that happen.
Yeah.
In either in Raw or SmackDown, like the cooler details, as I like to call it, you know? That's like one of those things I pay attention. Like, I've always paid attention to those parts, but the rest, no. Like, for example, right now, like, I did not like the segment that they have with Rusev, Lashley, and Lana. That was like made no sense to me. And people were also talking about that too, you know. And then there's many predicaments that people were losing interest in. You know?
I didn't really mind that segment. That segment only upset me. It was a complete waste of the reintroduction of Liv Morgan's new character, and I was like, I guess.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things that we, as fans, we notice. You know, we see fans are getting upset about certain things that are happening. They're losing interest. So, but here's the thing about it: like, the two people that were supposedly said they were fired or resigned or whatever the story is, that they were trying to talk to Vince and tell him they need to go this direction. You know, from what I understand. But you know, Vince, he doesn't like going a different direction. He wants to stay where he's at. The problem is this: like, I'm not gonna say Vince is old or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he feels like going to this direction. What if it doesn't work? You know?
Right.
I mean, sometimes you need to take risk of where you need to go with it. You know?
Yeah.
And if you're not taking risk, then why are you in the business in the first place?
Well, at the same time, you can't. With the fans are just too much to blame as well, because you can go from being the fans go from being all like, oh, Becky, yes, Becky's number one. Now all of a sudden the fans are turning on Becky and her character and stuff. Like, there's no pleasing like a casual wrestling fan nowadays. There's just so many different flavors out there that you're gonna get like a bunch of people backing them.
I don't know if you remember this or when The Fiend was becoming more recognizable. WWE were under the under the pressure of the investors because people were getting into the Fiend character.
Yeah.
You know, and of course it should be under the pressure because you created an interesting character that you developed, and your investors really want to see what you're gonna do with him.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that they should have paid attention. Like, You got wrestlers you invest a lot to make them the top stars,
Mm-hmm.
but not a whole lot of them are being recognizable.
Right.
And that's the key thing that they don't see. And not to mention there have been situations like, let's say, some venues, they may not get the exact amount. Like they're saying, we got 15,000 people in our venue, but later we find out it's 10,000.
Yeah.
We get that. I'm like, you hear that from outside of it, but thing is, they're only saying that because they don't want to lose their credibility.
Right.
That's one of the things that Sean Spears mentioned. You have to have a good credibility, and they're not showing that credibility whatsoever.
Nah.
And that's one of the things that they're not paying attention. You're losing money because you're not paying attention to what's going on in-house.
Right.
You're not even paying attention what's going on with your fans. You're paying attention what is really happening. If you guys had someone to do a survey research of all the fans, like say, okay, what is it they want to see? What they like,
Yeah.
What can we do to satisfy the fans? Now, some people say that there's only one person to satisfy this entire time, and that person was Vince.
Yeah.
It's like that. Remember what Moxley said? He tell him this is good shit, but clearly it's not.
Right.
But I don't know. But people are asking how they're gonna bounce back. I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna bounce back. They need to figure that out fast and quickly.
Oh, they're doing just fine because, considering that, they're always gonna have as long as kids are getting all the adults to buy their merch, and they still got the casual fan watching Raw and SmackDown, then I could see WWE just bouncing back. If they've done it before, they'll do it again.
Yeah, not to mention, here's the funny part. You're probably gonna laugh. Nobody blamed AEW for this one.
Because it has nothing to do with them.
Oh no,
Yeah.
That's the thing that they should pay attention to. It's not other promotions' fault, Like AEW are not paying attention to WWE what they're doing, anything that makes them predicament. They're
Right.
focusing on their own product, what they can do to make things good for their fans.
Right.
And that's the key thing that WWE is overlooking on that too. You want to keep your fans, you got to find a way to keep them satisfied, but it's not helping. But they could figure out at some point what can they do to make things better. Make up for the $1 billion that they lost. That's what they should focus on. What can we regain what we lost? And then once you do that, then everything will be okay. You probably will keep your investors happy. Hopefully you can get the fans you lost or get new fans, however the scenario fits in the wrestling world, especially in the WWE universe. But we will keep more track on what's going on with them on this financial status that they've been suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, they still haven't announced who are taking the positions of those presidents that actually, like I said, we don't know if they were fired or they were forced to resign or they resigned on their own. We still don't know if there will be any replacements or what are their future plans so far. But we just got to pay attention to what's going to happen starting today all the way in the future. But like you said, they probably will bounce back. That is it for now. But like I said, we'll keep track of WWE on this and let's see what happens. And hopefully, if they do bounce back, then we'll go from there. So we'll be right back. Right, everybody. So, in case you're wondering what just happened with the video look, well, Nico had to leave. He has an engagement prior, so he apologized for all of you that he couldn't make it for that part. But I'm going to continue on. I still got a few more things I want to talk about. Next thing I want to talk about right now, it's NWA Power. This episode was very interesting. It started out with a little interesting segment with Eli Drake and James Storm, where you can see things on your smart TV, like saying, Eli Drake said, I heard it's your smart TV. I don't know if it's smart, but it's a big TV. It's so funny. But here's the interesting part. They have a new opening which is Pantera's I'm Broken. Now, if you guys are not heavy metal fans, Pantera, this is one of my favorite songs to play whenever I'm either out in the gym or going out and about in the streets or taking a trolley ride, whatever. But it's a good one. I mean, I'm still a fan of Into the Fire, but we'll see how that goes. It opens up with Tim Storm about saying he has a match somewhere against Tom Latimer. Of course, Tom Latimer it goes out saying that no one cares about him. I mean, come on, you got fans who still do. Camille gets in his face, and they get like some dude try to impersonate Mama Storm. Of course, Tim Storm is not amused by it. Then we jump in with, of course, the Crockett Cup is still being announced over and over. I know some of you are asking, is this going to be good? Yeah. You can still see the Crockett Cup. It's on Fight TV, but I don't know how long it's going to be there, if they're going to remove it. But if you're planning to, there is a DVD, you can buy it. It's on the National Wrestling Alliance website. I think it's like $40, $60. I'm not 100% sure yet. It's been a while since I saw it. But I am planning to buy that because I gotta re-see that one, because I did see the match that they had for that one, Marty Scurll versus Nick Aldis, which was part 1. Then we had the little recap of Hard Times between Allison Kay and Thunder Rosa, which was a great match during Hard Times. I physically enjoyed everything on this one. Then we had Ricky Starks on commentary, where he was scouting potential competitors for the television championship match that he wants to have. There was Matt Cross and Caleb Conley. Now, these two guys are amazing wrestlers. I know Matt Cross for a long time. He's a big star in the independents. He's currently working with ROH, with Ring of Honor. But he was also known as, what was his name? It was on Lucha Underground. Shit. It's been a long time. He played that one. Oh, now I remember. Son of Havoc. That was his name. And that was one of, if you haven't seen that, he was amazing in that show, playing Son of Havoc. I enjoyed it the most. Caleb Conley, I only knew him from certain, he played one time the TNA character Suicide for a while, but he's great. I love his work, really great. I enjoyed it. But of course, the winner for that match was Matt Cross. I'm assuming somewhere down the line, Ricky Starks is going to face him for the television championship. Who knows? But it'll be a good match to watch too. Now we get back to that recap with the sit down between Marty Scurll and Nick Aldis, where Nick is still pissed with Marty, and he was telling him that if he loses, he must pay back the money from all the fans. Like, he's being that guy, thinking that he's the good guy, but in reality, he's the bad guy. Marty, he's not. He wants to be champion. He's been denied many times, so that's how it's going to go. Then we see that little thing with Eddie Kingston. He basically doesn't know what's been happening with the Pope, why he's being such a prick with him. First, they put him in a tag team match, which they lost. Homicide gets hurt. Didn't he try to push him into single competitor? But all of a sudden, Kingston feels like he's been doing something that's against him. Like, he wants him to turn against Homicide, but he wouldn't do it. And that's one of the things. He was loyal to his friend. And Pope got himself new friends, the Dawsons. And basically, what happened is they attacked him the last time. And now he said that he has payback against the Dawsons and Pope because he has a couple of new friends. And his new friends are the bouncers from ROH. Yes, the bouncers, those big guys. So they're now involved in this. Then we see a little
clip from Mae Valentine, Royce Isaac's girlfriend. She got in trouble for vlogging all this, and she's like having like her own little segment that's happening, which was pretty interesting. But yeah, then we have a championship match for the NWA National Championship, which Aaron Stevie calls it the third degree national championship. Question Mark gets kicked out of this one, like some point when he was trying to get involving himself in this match, and apparently Trevor Murdoch did great. My opinion, he has what it takes to be a champion. It doesn't matter if it's the World Heavyweight Champion, the National, the TV, but he had it. I mean, he didn't get much of the credibility that he deserves when he was back in WWE. But here's the thing. He won the match, but he was 20 seconds too late. Apparently, he passed the mark. But I have a feeling this match between them, it's far, far from over. Then we see the tag team the tag team champions in a non-title match against Josephus and Mims. It was pretty much like a squash match, but I'm a fan of Eli Drake and James Storm. I like their combination. Then, excuse me. Better. Anyway, we jump in with Melina, who is sitting on commentary but doesn't have the headset. Like, she has nothing to say whatsoever. Now, the story is that now Thunder Rosa has been pushing herself away from Melina and Marty Bell ever since she won. So basically, she was having a rematch against Allison Kay. You see not only Marty Bell and Melina one side of the commentary table, you see Ashley Voss and Tasha Steelz also, like they were rooting for Allison Kay, but it didn't happen. Allison Kay lost big time, and Thunder Rosa kept pushing herself away a lot. Melina's trying to talk to her like being the coach that she is. I think that's her new role now. If you haven't seen the interview with Chris Van Vliet, go see it. But that's how it ends. Don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Next week, we'll see what happens. I know there'll be more promotions about the Crockett Cup, but we'll see. But I'm yet to see Marty at Power again. I'm still waiting when that's going to happen. So that is it, what we got for this segment with NWA. We'll be back with more. Welcome back, everybody. So here's the last thing I'm going to bring up for this episode. We got the news updates. First thing I want to talk about is Ring of Honor, which you all know that Supercard of Honor is coming up on WrestleMania week. They just announced a match for the Supercard of Honor. This one is for the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team championship match. It's going to consist with the champions Mexi Squad with members of Flamita, Bandito, and Rey Horus, who are the current champions, facing off against Rocky Romero, Will Ospreay, and the Amazing Red. So I'm excited for that match. So if they put that on Fight TV or Honor Club, go subscribe to it now. That's a match you got to pay attention. I love it. It's a really good one. Now the next one I want to talk about is the signees with WWE. They have two new signees, Timothy Thatcher and Killer Kross. Now, there's been talk Killer Kross has been mentioned many times over that he's going to be the latest signee. I know WWE had him under their radar. They were trying to find a way to give him a good deal. Apparently, they say they gave him. Now, from what I understand, that they're going to have him skip the NXT and go straight to the main roster, to either Raw or SmackDown. I'm not sure, but I just hope they don't screw this up with him, because I'm a fan. I love how he portrays like this psychological serial killer type thing, I've always been a fan of that, ever since I saw him Impact and also Lucha Underground, but we'll see how that goes. Now, the next announcements, as you all recall, I've been talking about the Bullet Club Beach Party that took place. They just announced more participants for the Bullet Club Beach Party. We have Kenta, the Briscoes, the Allure Witches, Angelina Love, and Mandy Leon, La Facción Ingobernables, which is Rush, Kenny King, and Dragon Lee, the Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi, and Gino Gambino. Now, I'm understanding now from Tomo or the Bullet Club Beach Party, Twitter page, that there will be more announcements. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to have more matches or just people showing up or whatever they're going to do. We'll see how that goes. I'm excited for this, where they're going to go with it. It's pretty good. Still stand by. There will be more announcements. Also announced this from WrestleCon that Kenny Omega will be at one of the days for WrestleCon. I think it's the Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure. I think it's one day only. From then on, I know some wrestlers are participating from AEW to go to WrestleCon from other shows. Now, you ask yourselves, is AEW ever going to do something like that for WrestleMania week? No, they made it perfectly clear that they don't want to start a problem with this, but it doesn't mean that none of the wrestlers that they have in their disposal will participate there. It's already been done before. But we'll go from there how it is. There will be more announcements. I am following throughout Twitter about announcement. There's also an event for that called Joey Ryan's Penis Party. I still need to find more info on that. Don't ask me about the penis party about that, but we'll see how that goes. But I will continue more with the WrestleMania week events that's taking place, and we'll see from there. But as for now, on behalf of Deleted WrestleZone, I'm J-Rod, and Nico's not here. I'm going to bid all of you adieu, so goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang!